Hey guys, I'm T, and on today's episode of Sketchy Tech, we're going to be looking at 3 voiceover setups that you can do at home. Roll that intro! So here we are, 2021. My name is Timber Robin, and welcome to the first ever episode of Sketchy Tech, where we'll be looking at tech in general, but mostly focused on the voiceover industry. So I've been doing voiceover for a couple of years now, but when I started, there wasn't a lot of information out there for the South African amateur voice artist. Having done it for a few years now, I've compiled everything that I've learned, well, most of everything that I've learned, into a couple of short videos which I hope will help you. In the series we'll be looking at fun stuff like room acoustics, we'll look at mic patterns, we'll look at online platforms where you can look for work and find work from the very comfort of your own home, and of course the basic tech requirements that you'll need in order to start up as a voice artist. So without further ado, let's jump into episode number 1. Whoa. It is raining outside. So our first port of call when we're talking voiceover is tech. Well, assuming that you've got a good voice. You've got a good voice, right? In this video, we're going to be looking at the 5 most important components that you'll need in order to get started with voiceover. After the 5 components we'll run through right now, I'll give you 3 potential setups that you can do at home. So let's get started. Of our 5 components, number 1 is a computer. A computer or something to record your audio onto. This could also be a tablet like an iPad or a cell phone. They could work. Number 2, you're going to need a microphone. So having told you number 1, I know that you can use the onboard microphones on laptops and tablets, but that's not going to present your voice in the best light. So getting a microphone, if you're going to take voiceover seriously, is a must. Number 3, you're going to need an interface, an audio interface to be specific, and that is also known as a sound card. That's basically changing an analog signal into a digital. Number 4, you're going to need a DAW. No, not like a DAW. You need a DAW, a digital audio workstation, and that's just fancy jargon for software. So just an audio app that you can record onto, because Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and all the rest are just not going to help you. In this case, we're using Audacity. Number 5, you're going to need a playback option. So once you've plugged your beautiful voice into this microphone, it's gone through the interface onto your DAW, you want to listen back to what you've recorded, and there are a couple of options as to what you can use to do that. Right, now that we've run through our 5, I'll let you know that in future episodes, I'll go through each one of those components in depth. We'll look at what microphones to buy, headphones, and all the rest. But for today, I promised you 3 potential setups that you can do at home. So setup number 1 is the USB setup. So for this setup, we're going to be using the Lewitt DGT650, which is essentially a USB microphone. With USB microphones, we like to use the term plug and play because you just plug it into the USB slot, open up your software, and you're good to go. No interface or anything else needed. So all we got to do is take the USB end, plug it into the back of the laptop. With this Lewitt DGT650, there are some special lightning cables that I've just got to plug in. So I'll plug that into the breakout box. We take the other end into the microphone, and as you can see, it lights up. I'll quickly change it to a cardioid pattern, because that's what I want for when I'm recording, and you'll find out more about that in a future video. I'll let you know when. So cast your eyes to the top screen where I've opened up Audacity, and we'll give a little test, and then we'll play it back through the monitors and have a listen to what it sounds like, and if I'm happy with it.
Hello. Testing 1, 2.
So that's good, I like that. That is the USB setup. Setup number 2. This is the XLR setup. So the microphone that we use in this instance makes use of an XLR cable. Unlike the USB microphone setups that take your sound source and convert it to a digital signal, the XLR cable can only take your signal as far as analog, and we need to find a way to convert it from analog to digital, and for this we use an interface. So as you can see, the microphone we're using today is the SE-X1A from SE Electronics. This is the XLR microphone, and it is used with an XLR cable seen here. In order to get the interface to communicate with the computer, we make use of a male USB-A to male USB-B cable, otherwise known as a printer cable. So we take our printer cable, we plug it into the back of the interface as well as into our laptop through the USB slot. Also at the back of the interface while we're here, there is a little headphone jack. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my headphones into that. This is quite nifty because unlike the monitors, I can now get a real-time playback of what I'm recording as I'm speaking into the microphone, which is really, really handy. Now back to the front of the interface, this is where we're going to plug our microphone in. So we'll take our XLR cable, we'll take the male end and plug that into the front of the interface. The female will plug into the base of the microphone. At this point, the microphone actually isn't on because we need to make use of something called phantom power. This is displayed on most interfaces as a little plus 48 volt sign. I've located the little button on the front of the PreSonus interface. I push it, it lights up, and that indicates to me that the microphone is receiving power from the unit and I'm ready to go. So let's fire up our Audacity. From the drop down, I select the correct input device. We hit record, and as you can see, it's recording quite nicely. I'll give a little playback, which in this case you guys can't hear because I'm playing back through my headphones, but I'm happy with the sound. So that concludes setup number 2, the XLR setup. Setup number 3. This is the last of our 3 setups and could be called the budget setup because in this instance you don't need all the bells and whistles that we've previously used. So you don't necessarily need a laptop or an interface or anything like that. You can get by with just a few handy components. Let's take a look. All you're going to need is your cell phone, some headphones, and a microphone. So in this instance, I'm using the Rode Video Micro, which is a fantastic little microphone. It does come in a little bit expensive if we're calling this a budget setup. So you can actually use any plug-in microphone that you can find. I know Boya makes a very good one. All you got to do is plug your microphone into your cell phone. Now, depending on what cell phone you have, you might need to get a couple of adapters. As you can see, I'm a fool and I went with Apple and now I've got to have 1,000,001 adapters, but such is life. So I've plugged that in with the adapter and now I open my phone and you can find a native recording software in your cell phone. Every cell phone has it. If you find it, this one's called Voice Notes or Voice Recorder. You can just go in there and I push record and it will by default select my microphone rather than the onboard microphone on the phone. So now I'm recording in high quality.
Hello.
And let's see how it goes.
Hello. Testing 1.
Cool. So the best option now is to play it back. If there's one thing I hate listening to music or anything on a cell phone, it is terrible. So plug in your headphones. Now you can use any headphones. I prefer to use over-ear headphones, but anything that allows you to hear back clearly. So you can plug the headphones in and take a listen. There we go. I like what I'm hearing. Just a quick disclaimer on this last option. This is more for on-the-road auditions or quick auditions when you're in a bit of a tight spot. I wouldn't recommend that you use this to send files to a client because you can't really do any post-processing. So you can't take out all the mouth noises and any mistakes that you could usually do if you clipped it out in Audacity. So this is pretty much just good for auditions and that sort of thing. So that concludes our video. If you liked it, please give us a like. Of course, there'll be lots more information coming out, so hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss anything. I do enjoy getting feedback and learning what else you guys would like to know about, so feel free to leave us a note in the comment section below, and I will see if I can cover your topic next. Until we see each other again, this has been the first episode of Sketchy Tech with myself, Timber Robin, and it has been a pleasure voicing with you.
Is this thing on?